Guess what, guys? I graduated Pace School yesterday. Yep. I finally graduated Pace School, which I am going to move on to the next step. So, yeah. So, what can I review today? I know it's tough to be a god. Oh, wait a minute. I should review The Road to El Dorado. So, yeah. So, today, guys, I am going to be reviewing The Road to El Dorado. So, yeah. So before I go, when I go right over there, I'm going to say this. It's tough to be a god where we're mortals of a drone. And deify you're a shame and an object of devotion and an all insect of song and a time of emotion. All those prayers and most salam. Cue the intro. I cannot believe I actually graduated Pace School yesterday, which is honestly really exciting. Like, yeah. I mean, yes, I did graduate Pace School. I mean, I actually first went to Pace School back in 2009. I've been there in like 14 years actually, and I finally graduated this year. Which, yeah, this is my diploma I got yesterday, which honestly, yeah, from my graduation, which honestly, yeah, that's really exciting that I actually finally graduated Pace School, which honestly, yeah, even though I am going to move on to the next step, which is going to be I am going to have a job, which I'll see. But first I have to go to that training school, which I am going to do that this fall actually. So yeah. So without further ado, let's start this review right now actually. So yeah. Hey guys, this is Evan's Disney's Film Corner 2023 here, and today, guess what, guys? And today I am going to be reviewing The Road to El Dorado. Came in the year of 2000. So yeah. So I'm gonna read this plot on the internet. So yeah. So basically what the plot's about, two con men hold the map of the lost city of gold, El Dorado, and slowing away into the ships and the Spanish explorer Cortez. The pair escape, and eventually they do find the city, and there is a priest that pronounces them gods as a same, which sorry I mispronounced the name, but that's okay. I mean as a sum, which yeah, I did mispronounce that name, but that's okay. To win control of the city for himself. Meanwhile, the beautiful girl who helps them in reduce. So yeah. So that's basically what the plot's about this movie. So yeah. So I do remember that this movie actually did came out on March 31st of 2000, which honestly, yeah. And this movie is also directed by Don Paul and Nick Blob Borgonen, which sorry I mispronounced that name, but that's okay actually. So yeah. And also yeah. And also this movie has a soundtrack that features some instrumental scores by Hans Zimmer and John Powell, and songs that are written by Tim Rice. Elton John and Tim Rice, which they also narrate the story in the song throughout the movie, which honestly, yeah. Even though this movie is not a musical, actually, yeah. Even though this movie was originally going to be a musical, I mean, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, which we'll get to a bit later, which I will get to later, so yeah, guys, so what do I think of this movie? I have to say, this is definitely one of DreamWorks' most funniest movies ever. This is definitely also one of their best as well, which honestly, yeah. And yeah, this is one of DreamWorks Animation's most funniest movies ever, and this is actually their second hand-drawn anime film, with their third one being, with Spirit starring the Cimarron, and their final one, their fourth one, has to be Sinbad Legends of the Seven Seas, which I also enjoyed that film, which I am planning on reviewing that movie as well. Which honestly, yeah, even though that movie bombed at the box office, but yeah. But also, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of DreamWorks' most funniest movies ever, even though their best hand-drawn animated film, DreamWorks' best hand-drawn animated film would definitely have to be The Prince of Egypt, actually, which honestly, yeah. And even though my favorite DreamWorks animation movie is definitely Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, you know that's my favorite DreamWorks animation movie, which honestly, yeah. Yeah. And also, yeah. And let's talk about the cast of this movie. I mean, Kevin Kline as Tuyo and Kenneth Branagh as Miguel. They were fantastic in this movie. I mean, the main duo were fantastic in this movie, and they were also really funny. They did lots of ad-libbing in this movie. They honestly felt like they were having so much fun making this movie, actually. And even Jim Cummings was also great in this movie, which I actually didn't know that Jim Cummings was actually in this movie, actually. And also Frank Welker as Elvio. It was also really good. Frank Welker, who also did so many voiceovers, including Scooby Doo, actually. So yeah, and yeah, and also the the all the actors in this movie were also fantastic. I mean, and also Rose Paris. I mean Rose Perrines, which sorry mispronounced her name, but that's okay. As Chill was also fantastic in this movie, and also which sorry mispronounced her name, but that's okay. Correct me if I'm wrong if I actually pronounced that character's name, but that's okay. So yeah. So yeah. Um and also yeah, I did remember that this movie was originally um going to be a musical, actually. And the filmmakers decided to not have a traditional musical of the characters singing, which honestly, but on February 20th of 1999, before the release of Elton John and Tim Rice Aida, they have announced that 10 songs will be composed by 10 songs will be composed for El Dorado, and release date will be pushed for March of 2000. So yeah. Yeah, even though this movie was originally going to be a lot more darker, it's going to be I know this movie was originally was going to be a lot more darker and a lot more edgier. It was originally going to be PG-13, but they decided to drop that, actually. But yeah. But also, yeah. Yeah, and also I did like the scene where there's also so many iconic lines in this movie that are really fun, like both. Both is good. Yeah, I thought that was really funny as well. And also also the scene where this is gold and this is gold. Yeah, that was really great as well and funny as well. And there's so many great lines in this movie as well that are very quotable. So yeah. And now let's talk about the music and the score of this movie, which is actually composed by Hans Zimmer and John Pell, which honestly they were fantastic of this movie, and which I forgot to mention the songs of this movie, which even though this movie is not a musical, actually, but it does have songs. I mean, it's honestly kind of like Tarzan in a way. Like I would say that the characters don't sing, but they have a singer that actually sings the songs, actually, which is actually really creative, actually. Which honestly, yeah. Which the songs in this movie, like, which I am gonna look it up right now. Which I am. Which we have The Trail, We Breeze, Without Question. And then also, yeah, my favorite one is definitely It's Tough to Be a God. That was very catchy as well. And honestly, yeah. And also Someday Out of the Blue, which honestly, those songs were amazing. And even the rest of the songs were definitely great as well. And even the intro song was definitely fantastic. And also, yeah. And now let's talk about the animation of this movie. I mean, it still holds up to this day. 23 years later, I mean, it still looks gorgeous. I mean, yeah, it's still, this is actually one of DreamWorks Animation's best looking hand-drawn anime film, right next to The Prince of Egypt. I mean, it looks very colorful, actually, and honestly, yeah, and even the setting of this movie is also really good, and honestly, yeah, and also I forgot to mention that, when this movie was first released on March 30th of 2000, it was a massive box office bomb, but years later, it actually gained a cult following because there are people that just can't get enough of the movie because it's honestly really funny, and honestly, yeah, this movie is also really funny. So yeah, so overall, guys, I have nothing else to say. About this movie. So yeah, so overall, The Road to El Dorado is definitely one of DreamWorks' most funniest and one of their best movies. So yeah, so overall, if you haven't seen The Road to El Dorado, where have you been? I highly recommend it. So yeah. So, I'm going to give The Road to El Dorado a 10 out of 10 spectacular. So, yeah, guys, what do you think of my movie review of Road to El Dorado? So, yeah, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe my channel, and make sure to like this video. So, yeah, so stay tuned for my final May reviews of May 2023 with my re-review on 22 versus Earth. So, stay tuned for that. And my first review of June of 2023 with being Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown and Don't Come Back, which will be on next Friday, June 2nd of this year, so stay tuned for that. And my sneak peek for my reviews that I'm going to be reviewing for June of 2023 will be out this Monday, so stay tuned for that on my community tab. So yeah, so I'll see you guys there, and bye.